Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the worst podcast to ever be cursed onto the internet with my special guest that I kidnapped all the way from Paraguay. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm KhramChee. Save me, please.
Yes. And welcome to another episode of SeetherCast. I am your host, SeetherCord, along with KhramChee, even though we just repeated this. What am I talking about anyway? But yes, this is an episode, and I feel completely unprepared and nervous. So, how do you feel?
I'm feeling nervous too. It's like the very first time I'm doing a podcast.
Yes. But yeah, pretty much I have KhramChee, who is known as being an artist for the furry community, as well as a part-time college student / part-time YouTuber / part-time drug dealer. So yeah, pretty cool.
/ part-time fursuiter.
Yes.
Yes.
She hides the drugs in her tail like Barney. That's what she does.
Maybe. I don't know.
Did you know about that? The fact that the guy who played Barney in the U.S. version was, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a rumor that he hid his drugs in the tail of the Barney costume.
Wow, I didn't know about that. That's creepy.
It reminds me of like a lot of other like really messed up things that happened about kids' cartoons, like how the original person for the guy in Blue's Clues, I think his name was Steve. He was a drug head, so they got kicked him off and replaced him with Joe. And another one was like, I think I heard the girl that voiced Dora was arrested for being an illegal immigrant, but
For real? For a girl?
Yes.
Was it a girl?
I don't know. I could not imagine the person voicing Dora being a guy personally, but you know.
Well, I didn't think the one who voiced Timmy from Furry or Odd Parents would be a girl too.
Wow, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's like Tara Strong. She can pull off a lot of voices. But anyway, yes, so we have the podcast here. We're pretty much just shooting the gun. I almost said gum. Ugh, I hate gum. But we're just shooting the gun today for this. And pretty much I'll let you, KhramChee, kind of explain yourself, exactly who you are and what you do. This is who we are and what we do. So explain yourself now. This is the interrogation.
Oh no. Where do I start? Let's begin with the artwork, because I think that's the thing I am mostly known for. I've been drawing for almost 6 years now, but I have had so many names online that I think that two are the ones that stand out the most. First one would be Chumi. Most of the people who know me for many years call me Chumi. And then KhramChee. There are a lot of other usernames in the middle, but I decided to stay with KhramChee at last. Like, I am definitely staying as KhramChee now. I'm not changing names anymore. But yeah, I have been drawing for 6 years. I started drawing really crappy drawings, and then I started taking more interest into drawing animals because I started being a weeaboo.
Oh my god, 'cause I'm a weeaboo, a filthy weeaboo.
Yeah.
The freaking Filthy Frank song.
Yes, that's me. But yeah, I created Chumi as a human with ears. I don't remember the name for that, but yeah. Then I started getting interested into animal characters, and then I got into the furry fandom. And I have a video about that, but I'm not gonna get into much detail. So, I decided one day that I wanted to dedicate my life to art. And since I was around 16 onwards, I started to try to improve, quote unquote, improve my artwork.
I think your artwork has improved very well over the years.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You were saying?
And so, last year, I think around February of last year, I started charging for my drawings. I had been drawing requests for many years. And last year I started charging like $3 per drawing or something like that. And now I charge 30 for that.
Yeah, so yeah, for people out there who want a commission from her because she has really good artwork, better do it now before she becomes a complete sellout and starts charging $180 for a 5-piece sticker set. So,
Yes.
no. Now and later. Yeah.
I'm actually planning to raise my prices soon.
Wow! Great job.
But yeah, thing is that I do it because there are people who come to me and buy like 40 or 50 stickers and just throw me all their money. Like, shut up and take my money.
Freaking the Futurama meme. Oh my god. I never watched that show. But I hear it was a really good show. But
I find it boring, but I still watched some episodes in Spanish
cool.
though. The Spanish voices are like, they don't match the characters like the English ones. That's why I don't
Wow.
like to watch some animes or cartoons, etc. in Spanish.
like really bad English dubbing.
Yeah. Thing is that they translate things literal, so some jokes make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That reminds me, there's like an old YouTube video I watched called The Worst Black Guy Voiceover in an Anime, and I listened to it. It was like this really big buff black guy, and basically he just had a voice like, hey, you stop it right over there, and it sounds like so casual white guy kind of sounding.
Okay. That mismatch.
Just an example of how bad English voice dubs are for animes for the most part.
Yeah, I hear that English dubs are really bad when it comes to anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. I'm playing with a freaking fidget spinner in my hand as I'm talking about this. I need to throw these things away because I'm tired of having them in my hands. Because I do this thing, you know, like the metal, like, you know, the circle holes where the 3 ends are for them. I like to press my thumb and my index finger into them, and it hurts and it leaves markings. And I don't like doing that, but it's impulsive for me to do it. I need a fidget cube instead, but I don't know.
I got one. But talking about that, what I like to do with mine is I pick up a pen and I make it spin and I try to make it stop right in the middle, you know, like right in the middle of the circle.
Mm-hmm. I think you can also do that with, like, you know, if you put it in the center. Are you talking about like the center circle, like where you like pull it off? Yeah, I think you can do that. You can make it like spin and make the pencil stands upward for a bit when you do that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, about the whole fidget spinner things. I think you say, since you're in Paraguay, I think you say that like the fidget spinner, you know, craze is still going on there. Here, it's kind of died out already. Like, it was a good thing for like a month and then died. But yeah.
Yeah, but thing is that here, I don't know if you got them there, but here they brought fidget spinners with LED lights that if you make them spin in a certain speed, the LED lights make out look as if they're making drawings. Like, you spin it really fast and you see a flower, or you spin it really slow and you see a rainbow and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Next thing you know, there's going to be a complete recall when like they start bursting into flames, though, because of all the LED lights.
And also here they brought some Bluetooth spinners that you can play music on them.
That reminds me of a really old like commercial I saw for like a toothbrush that if you brush your teeth, it played music. And like, I don't know. I don't like, you know, having music being blared into my mouth when I brush my teeth. But, you know.
Yeah. Who thought of that, though?
I don't know.
Someone addicted to music.
It just reminds me of the Shiny Teeth song from the Fairly Odd Parents. Freaking,
No.
because like it's a pop song and it's about teeth from Chip Skylark. Chip Skylark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Another thing about furries, talking about what's your kind of experience you would say with fursuiting, since we already got into artwork. What else would you have to say involving fursuiting to go into?
Well, when it comes to fursuiting, I had been wishing to get one for years, but I could not decide on which character I wanted because back then when I started getting all this hype to getting one, I was like, oh, I want one of this character. Yeah, this character. It took me like 2 years to develop a character that I really wanted to get in a fursuit, and that was KhramChee.
Yes.
But I have to say, I'm sorry, fursuit makers, but I am a really stingy person. I don't like to spend that much money. So I looked up for the the cheapest options, but not only cheapest, but also good quality ones.
Mhm.
And it took me a while to find someone. I'm not saying that the maker that I found that I've decided to commission in the end was cheap. Her price are like in the middle, but
Yes.
the quality of her fursuits are like great. I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
that if she wants to charge more, she is definitely gonna get more commissions because her quality is like really high quality.
Yes, and if you're curious about the maker we're referring to, it's known as formerly when we got ours, it was known as Knuckler Fur Creations. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if that was like a typo for nuclear, but it was Knuckler. I don't know what the heck a Knuckler is, but and then it got changed to Blue Wolf Studios. That's what their official name is. And I believe it's just one person, I think. But yeah, and we actually both got ours made at the same time. We were like the only ones on their queue list for when they were making it. And it was pretty cool. But yeah, they were really cool. I got my partial for about $370. Mine.
Yeah, mine was 400, but it was because of the distance. You were closer to
Yeah.
her, I think. So
Yeah, I think so. But it was pretty cool to get a suit, and like I even made a video about it recently in terms of like about commissioning fursuits. Like a number one problem I think a lot of people might have when it comes to getting their fursuit commissioned is just communication with the fursuit maker, because a lot of fursuit makers tend to have a problem with like being on top of like keeping in contact with the people that commission them.
yeah, and also if you are a fursuit maker who's starting, like, don't try to sell your very first or second fursuits. At least that's my point of view. Like, try to make 2 or 3 fursuits that you make as practice, and then try to sell the 4th or 5th one, because that's when you have a little practice with that, at least.
I have had an experience. I don't think I ever told you this, but I actually had my own experience with trying to build my own fursuit, and it's kind of a terrifying experience. What happened was, I remember I did it on like New Year's Eve of like 2015. I only got to work on the leg, so what I did, I think I followed like some weird tutorial online on how to make your own fursuit, and I had like absolutely no experience with arts and crafts whatsoever, so going in blindly to that, I'm glad I didn't go full on through with making the whole suit, because it probably would have been just something terrifying to see. But what I did was I took like, I think salmon wrap, and I wrapped that around my leg, as well as like put bubble wrap around it as well. And I think I used a little bit, like a bunch of Scotch tape to like tape that down, and then I put it in a sock, and then I had to like cut the inside of the tape from in the sock while wearing it, so I could have risked cutting my leg. And I still have the sock. It's like a weird mold of like a foot in a sock, and is really crappy looking, but I still have it. Is it over there? It's still on the mantle. I've kept that freaking thing on the mantle for over a year now. I don't know why.
Throw it away. It's a monster.
But the sock though. I can't throw away the sock. Socks are important.
Why?
A bunch of African kids don't have socks. But
Well, send it to an African kid somewhere.
I'll send it with the other stuff and then the sock too, if they want to ever make their fursuit.
Okay. But yeah.
Oh my god.
When it comes to wearing the fursuit itself, I have to say that wearing my fursuit was not my first experience with fursuiting. I have a friend of mine who got a fursuit as a gift. A white cat I sold early this year. This person hated this fursuit, and what they did was they gave it to me, and they told me they asked me to sell it over Furby. So in the meantime, where that fursuit was at my place, I would wear it pretty often. So I already had some experience about how would it feel wearing a fursuit. And um, you sweat a lot, and you see your vision is like pretty limited. I don't know if you have the same problem, but with my fursuit head, I only see through one eye most of the time.
I think yeah, I'm the exact same way. I have to look through one eye. I think I can do either the left or right eye, but I always prefer doing the right eye. But I think that's how I think most people are supposed to be meant to. I think that's how most fursuit heads are meant to be, like they're looking through one eye, because I think if you look through both eyes, everything becomes like lopsided and such. And I think it also becomes down to, I think my head, I don't think I gave like a proper head circumference to the maker when I commissioned her, when she asked for my head circumference, because I think it's a little bit tight, not like too tight. It doesn't feel like a comfortable head. It feels like I'm wearing a football helmet, you know?
Yeah, me too. I have the same feeling when I wear mine. It's really tight. I find it comfy though, because I don't want to have a loose head, because I'm afraid of, I don't know, doing something and it just pops out of my head or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
pretty much. Another thing I would say I would go into is, what about your experience with Furby? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, selling things? It's kind of like eBay, but for furries, pretty much.
Well, I have to be honest that I don't trust the site when it comes to buying something. I got to sell two fursuits over there. I am still waiting for the second person to let me know if they got their fursuit. I sent it for someone in Australia or something like that, and it was supposed to get there like around 2 days ago, and I'm still waiting for them to let me know. But I still have to buy something, like to give an opinion about if it's trustworthy or not.
I pretty much agree on that. I can understand that as well, even though I've never really bought off Furby and I've never really used eBay. I'm more of an Amazon person, but Amazon wild. But
yeah, I use eBay a lot because there's no way to buy things from Amazon in my country.
Pretty much. Since you're like, really involved with like the Brazilian furry community, I think you can be involved with, because you've been to I think Brazil Fur Fest. You said you went there last year.
Yes, it was their first time organizing a big convention, because the group that organized Brazil Fur Fest only made these permits where they would rent these big places like bowling places and stuff, and a lot of people would go there, and they noticed that they had enough people going to these permits that they wanted to give it a try. And they also had some people who had already gone to cons outside that would help them know how a fur con should be, and I think they did a pretty good job.
Pretty much. Cool.
Yes.
Is there anything you would like to ask me or go into about, since I've pretty much just been interviewing you this whole time?
Well, my question would be like, your fursuit, why don't you use it as often as I do?
Well, personally, for one, I don't think you noticed this, but I'm a shut-in loser, pretty much, and I don't go out that much because I have no friends and everyone hates me. But I'm kidding. But I don't. Me, like, personally, I live in an area where doing things like that isn't as accepted, and also because of the fact there's just never really anything that really goes on in my living area that would be useful as to using it. Like, there's sometimes, but for the most part, there's really no ever events going on in my town to where, like, there's no real, like, events where I could use it for. That's kind of also the reason why I want to move out of my town and go somewhere else, because just the fact that there's simply not that much to do. But I also say because of the fact that when it comes to YouTube, it's just also like putting on my fursuit and like trying to be entertaining / doing things for videos in fursuit's just more of a hassle, and it just doesn't feel like as my style of things doing it, even though you see a bunch of furry YouTubers do that with their fursuits and try to be all cute and all, but to me that gets kind of old,
Yeah, I actually tried to make some videos like that. If you remember my supposed video vlogs that I stopped doing a while ago. It's really hard. I think it's harder to make a video wearing fursuit that doing the ones you do like talking to the camera, because I tried to do mine scripted so I could have a fair idea of what I was gonna say, but my voice sounded muffled most of the time, no matter how I would put the microphone in the fursuit or near it. It's really hard to get a good shot in there.
I think there's either two options a lot of other like furry YouTubers do when it comes to their fursuits and microphones. One is they like get like a special microphone kind of designed for that, or they just like say it and then they just like re-record them saying it in like post-production and they just put it in there.
Yeah.
Which kind of like ruins kind of which I don't think like is that they don't do it that well in terms of putting on the illusion that like, oh, you can hear them just well, even though it's them re-recording themselves re-saying what they've already said before.
Yeah, some people are not that good at voice syncing.
But that's pretty much what I gotta say for that. To go back to what I was saying, since you've been doing art for like 6 years, have you ever thought of getting into animation or so, since you've done like 6 years worth of artwork?
Well, I tried it. I tried doing simple animations in the past. Like, I would do pixel animations with MS Paint, drawing frame by frame for my friends, but I don't see myself as that good of an artist to actually do that as commissions. I could do it as gifts or art trades, but not commissions. I don't feel as confident about it.
Yeah. But in terms of like, I don't know, I feel like I might disagree in a way. Like in terms of like, what would you say would qualify as good animation? Like besides just being good at art, because I don't feel like just because you're a good artist means that you can be a good animator. Because I think it has to do, having good animation has to do in terms of like how you make the drawings flow together.
Well, there are many things related to that. I could be a good artist, drawing static images, but when it comes to animation, you have to make it flow, like you said, and also make it look natural, which I don't feel like I'm that good at when it comes to my animations. That's why I don't post them like pretty often. I like to animate, I just don't post it online. Making the characters blink, just by doing that, you have to be really good at it. Or your characters would look like robots, There's a lot of details you have to pay attention to, and that's why I when I finish an animation and look back at it, I don't feel like confident about it, because I noticed so many errors that I feel lazy to go back and redo.
Yeah, I understand with that. And also, like, I feel like when it comes to that, like, it's harder to, like, motivate yourself to do more animation if you don't feel that good at it, because just animating is way more harder and more time consuming than just simply drawing pictures.
Yeah, that too.
And also the reason why I kind of bring up, like, like animation with that, and like how it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a good artist to be good at animation is, if you remember, the days of Newgrounds. You ever been on Newgrounds?
Yes.
There's been a bunch of Newgrounds people that went to YouTube and became YouTubers, like people like Psychic Pebbles, Chris O'Neill, or Oni and G, Ego Raptor. Some of them have like very disgusting looking artwork, but like their animation skills are really good, and like they're really well known YouTube animators.
Yeah.
But that brought me up to I brought up something really messed up earlier that I was doing today with my friend Alex. If you know Little Stop Plays, subscribe to him. Actually, I don't like his content, but I'm kidding. I was watching his Schmucks podcast last night because it went upwards. We had it with Chris Raygun and Lyle McDouchebag, and they brought up like a subreddit or not, I don't know. I don't know the Reddit lingo. I don't go on Reddit, but it's just like a Reddit thread called "Watch People Die," and it's just so messed up. But I went to it and I just could not stop watching the videos. Does that make me a bad person? I don't know.
Well, I don't think so, but still, you do have the guts to go through those videos. I think I wouldn't. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah. They bring up a lot of really weird stuff on that podcast, but I don't know. This is actually, I feel like that podcast is really what inspired me to do this podcast, and it's weird. They also brought up in the last episode, they brought up, like, would you have sex with one of the thumb people from the Spy Kids movies? And I'm just like, what?
Okay.
If you know that movie, the thumb people. The thumb people.
I know about it, but I didn't get to watch it. At least not the full movie.
Yeah. High quality acting from kids. But, if to go back into artwork, I noticed that we jump in and outwards of talking about art like crazy, but what would you really say inspired you to be an artist or so? Was there like cartoons, or was there like comics or, comic books that really inspired you to do that?
Well, when it comes to inspiration, I would say that related to furry artwork, there are many comics that I used to read a lot. There's Bittersweet Candy Bubble, Two Kinds, there's Strays, a comic about people who transform into wolves, and so on. The list can go really long, because I spent most of my teenage years reading comics online, and I think that's the biggest inspiration I got towards furry artwork. I actually did like 3 comics during that time that were all done in pencil from start to finish, but I was too lazy, and still I'm too lazy to actually do the colors and finish them.
I understand. And it reminds me, you brought up Two Kinds. That sounds familiar, like that comic strips. I don't know. Was there like, I think it was like, was that Markiplier's brother who made that comic? I think Two Kinds. I don't know. I could be confusing it with somebody else though.
I really don't know. We might have to look it up. It's I think the guy does look Asian-like, because I know Markiplier is just, even though he's American, I think his father was Asian or something like that.
I think so. Yes. Yeah, he's Korean. I think. Yeah, I think that's who he was, because I remember his brother did make a webcomic series that was like furries in a way, but it's not confirmed if he's a furry or not, but
Yeah, you can do furry artwork and still not be a furry.
Everyone at Disney. No.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. I don't know if like Disney is just made up of a bunch of closeted furries or not with like, their animations. I hear a lot of people who worked on Zootopia are furries themselves, but
yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, most of them, they were either furries or knew what a furry was, so yeah. And also there was this thing they made with fursuiters. I think
Really?
they went to Disney or something like that to shoot photos to promote Zootopia, and they were wearing their fursuits. I found it pretty cool that they included the furry fandom.
That reminds me, I think also like maybe like if they knew what furries were but weren't into it themselves, I think it was just like that the furry community could be like a good demographic that they could profit off of for the movie. Because I think like it worked. It really did work, because like it's actually one of the most successful animated movies of all time, I think now. Like $1 billion made, I think. That's pretty cool. Speaking about furries.
I was just gonna bring up the fact that some furry groups actually rented whole cinema rooms just to watch the movies, the Zootopia movie.
It's cool.
Yes.
Pretty much. I brought up like how, speaking of other communities, like besides furries and weeaboos, what other communities do you say you get involved with? That are online predominantly?
Well, when it comes to fandoms, I'm not that active anymore, but I used to be really active in the Brony community because I love My Little Pony. I still do. It's just that the groups died over time. So yeah, and also Steven Universe. Um, I don't talk that much with people in the fandom, but I have found some other people who were furries too that were into this, and well, we got to meet each other through Steven Universe, basically.
Cool.
How about you, though?
Well, to go into those two you talked about, when it comes to the bronies, I was in a brony phase for like a few years or so, and two reasons as to why I don't really associate with that group anymore is one, simply I just don't have time to watch shows that much anymore, and also I lost interest. And the second is just I hear the fandom didn't really feel that welcoming, or it just felt really more so uneasy to be with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Love and tolerance.
And also drama fested. I remember I used to enjoy watching I think there were brony analysis YouTubers where they would have people. I think a lot of TV shows have that where people will dedicate their channel to reviewing each episode in depth and go into the lore and stuff. And I hear that all those people within all those brony analysis YouTubers hated each other pretty much. But that's just what I've seen. I could be wrong though. But anyway. And when it comes to Steven Universe, I never have been involved or known really anybody that's in the Steven Universe, but you have gotten me hooked on Steven Universe. Blame this person if all I talk about on Twitter is Steven Universe, because I love Steven Universe now. But
you're welcome, guys.
Oh my god. I was going to bring up the Steve World video in one of my other videos, but I haven't done it yet, and I have to now, thanks to you.
Please add it to the final product.
Oh god, the Steve... If anybody's curious, look up a video on YouTube called Steve World. It's literally the greatest video ever made. It clearly is. Am I right?
Yes, it's the best fan art for Steven Universe ever.
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, the whole Steve World fandom, a fandom within a fandom, oh my god, is pretty much, died out. The production of the Steve World series has kind of died out because I heard the creator of it hates the fan base so much to where he just doesn't want to continue it.
Oh no.
Says the fan base is kind of really immature, but And also, I hear about how there was apparently a Steven Universe fan artist that was harassed because they made a character that was supposed to be overweight, did not draw them overweight, they drew them skinny, and then they got harassed for it to the point where they tried to commit suicide, which is really messed up for a fandom to do.
It is.
But yeah. Well, that's just Tumblr for you, but
yes. That's why I don't like Tumblr anymore. I used to like it back when I was still chummy. I would still use Tumblr and many other social media where you can share your artwork. And Tumblr is a really close-minded place. Even though they say, "Oh, we love everyone. Come here and be free. Everything is PC," but no, it's a huge lie. You get harassed if you disagree with someone.
Huge cesspool.
It's
Here's what my thoughts are. I've barely ever used Tumblr in my life, and I've barely ever been on Tumblr, but from what I've seen, Tumblr is made up of three things. It's other kin blogs, talking about feminism, and posting pictures of food, pretty much. That's all I've seen on there, from my opinion. But
yeah.
people are obsessed with posting pictures of what they're going to eat. We don't care. If we can't have it, don't post it, please. We don't want to see. But anyway, that's just me.
Yeah.
Is there any other websites you kind of get into, or you have opinions on that aren't, Tumblr or Reddit?
Furry. How they added that stupid search bar right in the middle of the site, and I keep clicking the submit button by accident.
Yes, because the search bar was there. I probably, uploaded 1,000 posts by accident now at this point, but
yeah, I hate it. They could have announced it by in advance or something.
like most people don't upload, they mostly press search. So I would say instead move the search, like put the search bar, or at least stretch it out, but move the submit button to the end,
Yeah.
So that way people don't constantly do that, because people are already used to clicking in the search bar, like the second to left button. So pretty much just the search bar is terrible, but also, the fact that everyone hates Furfinity these days because it's nothing but porn, but yeah.
I get my money from drawing porn.
That's great.
I had to say that, I'm sorry.
So you're a prostitute. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh my god.
How dare you say that to your girlfriend?
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
But
That
oh shit.
though.
That ear rape. Oh god, no. Freaking, I did a live stream where I mentioned ear rape one time and the whole chat was nothing but ear rape, and then freaking NeonicNai, that freaking trashy ass deer girl, I think it's a deer, I don't know, she had to make an ear rape version of my theme song. Like, why? Why? NeonicNai, why? Anyway, I don't
She
care.
has the rights to do it. She made it.
She's slandering me. It's slander. I'm kidding. I love you, NeonicNai. I'd have your babies. No, I'm kidding.
What? No.
I don't know.
You're mine. No, just kidding.
She's probably 15. I shouldn't be able to say stuff like that. I don't know.
What?
I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. Run! Oh shit.
Are you alright?
Go to Japan where it's like 14 or something. We should stop talking about this, but I don't know. But yeah, ear rape. Great stuff.
Yes. Better than drugs.
Drugs. Oh yeah. Mind fuck. But anyway.
What?
I don't know. Yeah, let's also bring up the gaming channel. You're on there now, so it's kind of odd to have it called SeetherCast Games when you're also on there. How's your? I've never really brought this up to anyone, or like discussed on the channel, but KhramChee's mostly going to be there to cover the PC gaming stuff because I'm not really a PC gamer. I'm more of a console gamer, and she's more of a PC gamer, so she can get all that stuff taken care of.
Yes.
We can trick through all that. And now all we need left is someone to cover mobile gaming, but nobody likes mobile gaming, so.
And it's hard as fuck to record gaming on your phone, especially on Apple phones, because they only have one recording software that is from Apple, and that's really crappy. I've seen one person on YouTube, a gamer guy who wanted to record Pokemon Go back when it was popular, and he used to have an iPhone. I think he had the latest one back then, and he tried to record as better as he could, but the frame drops were horrible. The screen would freeze whenever he tried to record on his phone. He was forced to buy an Android phone just because of that. So,
that reminds me, I brought it up in the last episode, I think, but don't be like me and download some really shady looking, Chinese and like recording software for your phone that could probably destroy your phone in the process. Don't do what I did.
No.
Oh god, it was in Japanese. Was it Japanese or Chinese? I don't remember, but I don't have it anymore. My computer would have been destroyed if I kept having it. But anyway, yeah.
You would have
and pretty much
porn.
Tentacle porn, yes. Yes, you gotta have all the tentacle porn, as well as all the vor porn, inflation porn, fat porn, diaper porn, all that great shit,
Yes, but all in Japanese.
Japanese furry, tentacle, hentai, inflation porn. Love it.
Alright.
Yes. But, it reminds me, like, you brought up, like, streaming. I think for the most part, in terms of mobile gaming, people for a while, the Pokemon Go craze was a big thing. I remember, I'm going to say something that might get you arrested, but she used a pirated version of Pokemon Go on her computer. And she did. KhramChee has. But do you still play Pokemon Go on your computer?
No, I don't. They banned it. Like, they they developed a thingy that finds out if you're using it on PC or not. So nowadays, if you log in on your PC, you get instantly banned.
Did you
For
get banned
life. No, I didn't get caught. Yay.
I bet back then, like, they only really had detection for like hacks, like if you try to like move like 20,000 miles in a minute, like.
No. Not even that. I could move from one country to another if I wanted back then. The only way you can get banned, but by the time it was recently launched, it was if someone sent a message to, what was the name? Niantic? Is it right? Niantic?
I don't know.
But yeah, if someone sent a message to the developer saying, "Hey, this person is doing hacks," and weeks later you would get banned.
But bringing back to Pokemon Go, besides you doing illegal stuff that could get you thrown in prison, not really, but here, emulation. I think here in the States, emulation is illegal, but it's like something that, since everyone virtually does it, and even like certain companies encourage it, like they're just basically like, we're not going to arrest you for it because everyone does it. It's like one of those laws. It's so ridiculous that they're not going to arrest you. Like, I think in like California, it's illegal to have baloney on you or to sell baloney. It's so weird, but it's a thing. But that's bringing up, like, I remember Pokemon Go was like the #1 mobile game to really play on YouTube channels. And I think now, since Pokemon Go is kind of over, I think like the only thing people still do with Pokemon Go is like stream it on Twitch, where like they bring like a GoPro camera and like record themselves in public doing that. But that's like, I've even seen some of the Twitch streams that they do. Like, it's extremely dangerous and a lot of crazy stuff happens. Like I saw like someone get kicked out of a restaurant because of it. Someone, you know, like recorded a guy who was trying to attempt suicide, and they had it on camera and they had to like quickly turn it away before he jumped. A bunch of crazy stuff like that happening.
Yeah, I've seen like 3 or 4 news about different people also finding dead bodies and stuff like that.
There was I think like the #1 Pokemon Go streamer on Twitch right now. I think he even had a thing where like he's one of those Twitch streamers where like he live streams his whole life and has like a GoPro with him, and he mostly does it for Pokemon Go. But some like trolls, well, he was like about to go on an airplane, and then like a bunch of trolls were like, you know, sending in like fake bomb threats to the airport, and it got caught on stream and stuff. And it's just like a bunch of crazy stuff. And like his life is pretty much like, you know, there's a whole drama fest. Like, he's been on, I watched Scarce back when Scarce was still alive and not murdered and his body's hiding somewhere. He like would bring him up a lot. Like, that guy would always get on. I think his name was like Ice Poseidon or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Scarce is dead, if you didn't know. Probably like body, like, you know, cut up in pieces and thrown down a river somewhere.
No, poor Scarce. I used to be a fan of his.
Yeah,
Come on.
Gotta love that. Gotta love those daily double uploads, if you know what I'm saying. If you want to find Scarce, check all your local parks and look behind all the trees if you want to find him.
Okay.
I never got to make Scarce, the third Scarce video, sadly. I wanted to make it. I actually was planning to make a trilogy, and I made 2 videos about him, but the third one never happened. Now I can't do it because, you know,
there's no
he's gone.
Scarce anymore.
Yeah.
Aw.
I could make a video called like Scarce's body found somewhere, make it full on clickbait, and then get suspended like Derv.
Oh no.
And get terminated. Seether count will be gone within a week. Termination of violation of terms and services of YouTube.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Can that actually happen?
Yeah, YouTube has actually now been like cracking down on channels that do really bad clickbait. Like the YouTube channel Derv, which made a bunch of, you know, fidget spinner videos, as well as like videos like OMG calling the boss baby, he called, like stupid crap like that. They found out he did that, and also with the fact that he did like fake giveaways of like $5 gift cards, like he wouldn't actually, you know, give people, they'd be like, hey, drop a like and a comment and you can be entered to win a gift card, and he never gave out the gift cards, and now they terminated his channel because of it. But he's back and he's still doing it, so he's like a 12-year-old kid.
It's like nothing happened. Okay.
I really don't. Okay, even though I don't mind the whole fidget spinner trend, I really dislike the fidget spinner the fidget spinner videos on YouTube, because there's like these little kids that make these videos about fidget spinners doing a bunch of really, you know, ridiculous stuff, like $20,000 fidget spinner, and like they're fake, and they make tons of money in ad revenue off of these videos. And there's even like one kid who's making videos about fidget spinners, and they're making like over $100,000 a month off YouTube. And I bet most people in the country are jealous of them. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And also, well, the only thing that I would like to see, and as I'm a teacher, I teach English to the students here who only speak Spanish. The things that I like about fidget spinners on YouTube is the tricks, because my students they were able to do pretty cool tricks with their fidget spinners. I cannot English today.
It's pretty much the next yo-yo, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you know what a yo-yo is. Why don't I ask you if I know what a yo-yo is? Just because you're from Paraguay, I act like you guys are aliens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ooga booga.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh, don't worry.
But fidget spinners, like, I don't know. It's just like I hear, I don't know if it's the truth or not. They were originally meant for kids, you know, with problems like autism and who fidget. It's not kind of. I don't think it's technically a toy to be used for tricks. It's supposed to help you focus, even though a lot of teachers think they don't focus. Like when you teach, do your kids have those fidget spinners in class? Is it more of a benefit or a detriment to the class?
Well, as long as they were not playing with them when I was explaining something, I was okay with that. So yeah, it depends on the teacher too, because I know some people are like really strict and they don't want anything out of their box to be in the classroom, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm willing to bet though, like when you hear people spin them, you say, like, I remember when I'm in calls with you sometime, like I would spin it and you think that like the shower's on, like you start to go crazy, like, is someone taking a shower in my classroom? Like
It actually sounds like you're peeing or something when you're in person.
Like this, spinning it right now. I hope it picks up on the mic.
Yeah, it is.
Oh god. Yeah.
Okay.
I've literally picked this thing up and put it back down like 5 times. I hate it. Like, I genuinely dislike how much this is impacting my life right now.
I'm addicted to my
spinning.
little cube. I mean, I got the fidget spinner and the cube together because it was like a promo. And I love the cube. It broke 2 times already, but I was able to rebuild it. And I keep playing with it. I love the joystick side.
Well, the thing is, I feel like the cube is like infinitely better than the fidget spinner, because fidget spinner, you can spin it. That's one thing you can do. A cube can do 6 things. Pretty much. I don't know all of them. Like, there's the ball, and then there's the buttons, and then there's like the code lock, and I think there's a calculator too, or something.
No. Okay, the fidget, it has a little plate that you can spin around. It has a little handle there that you can press to make the little plate spin. Then it has a light switch, joystick, the lock, a little silver ball that you can make it go around with your finger. It has 5 buttons. 2 of them are silent, and 2 of them make a noise, but it's like really soft, and the one in the middle makes a really loud noise. Like, let me press it so you can hear it. Like,
yeah, that can probably trigger somebody. Like, it just triggers you.
And the last side is a curvy carving they made on the cube, that you're supposed to just rub your fingers there to relax. And
rub it nicely.
Yeah, I don't see what's the use of this side, but I love the other sides.
Yeah. Well, since we pretty much dedicated at least 15 to 20 minutes just talking about these cancerous fidget spinners. You want to talk about something else?
I don't know.
Oh God.
How about tell us about your experience with fursuiting at that steampunk little tiny fest at that coffee shop you had?
Oh yes, that video I made with the Samurai Jack meme in the middle that made no sense. Oh God. I don't know that's Psychic Pebbles, and I love Psychic Pebbles to death. Love the Schmucks podcast, love his animations, love all of it. If you don't sub, then that means if you don't sub to him, that means you don't understand art, because he's clearly the modern day Picasso. But I would say that it was a good experience. I got the pixel art, but I gave it away because I felt bad for the little girl there, because there was a little girl that was there that was from like Vietnam that didn't have that much, and she also really wasn't allowed to ever go outside. And when she finally did go outside, I was like a little artifact, not artifact, it's like freaking like the coffee shops, like a freaking Raiders of the Lost Ark for some reason. Yeah. It's not an artifact, it's a little like a memory piece. I can't think of the right word, a memento to keep with her, to a remembrance of this day, while she's kept in her little prison cell of a house.
Oh,
that's a little too harsh. I'm sorry, but I'm sounding like a jerk. I'm sorry, but I don't mean to be. I let her have it. It was worth it. It was worth it. I also got 6. I also got I met this one guy who works at a Golden Corral. It's a restaurant here. I don't think eaten Golden Corral. I've never eaten Golden Corral. It's kind of like, I thought it was Australian food, but in reality it's just like Southern food. But he gave me, I let him know about my fursuit. He was pretty cool, and he gave me 3 vouchers, each good for 2 all-you-can-eat buffets at Golden Corral. And I was like, oh sweet, I could take 6 people here. And I was just like, you know what? I don't eat Golden Corral either, so I gave them away as well. So, but
nice.
Yeah, people enjoyed it. Yeah, it's pretty much a good experience. The steampunk people were really cool. They have a lot of really nice designs of like jewelry and such. Do you know a lot about steampunk?
I don't know that much, but if I look someone who's wearing a steampunk costume, I can know that's steampunk. I guess that's enough.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know that much either about like the whole history of the steampunk community or so. Like I think it's like 1800s kind of thing. I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like a mixture of the styles from back then and the technology from nowadays.
Oh, gotcha. It's kind of, I guess, like that's kind of like a BioShock vibe. I don't know. I've never played BioShock, but that's what it sounds like.
Actually, BioShock is steampunk themed, I think. So, yeah,
cool.
You're right.
BioShock.
It's a pretty good game. I had to play it for the channel.
Hope you were waiting for like another 100 episodes of that, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you told me Little Big Adventure is going to be like 40 parts, and I'm just like, oh, it's going to take forever.
I know, right? And I have just played the easiest parts for this, for the first 4 episodes. On episode 5, which is not done yet, I know that I'm gonna start going through the hardcore parts where you have to run and not get hit by stuff and stuff like that. It's gonna get hard. I hope I don't die.
Oh wow. Just imagine it's gonna be freaking Castlevania 4 difficulty, I bet. Oh god.
Yeah.
Goes to all the retro gamers out there. Freaking F-Zero on the GameCube level, difficulty, I bet as well. GameCube games are really hard, from what I remember. Our freaking NES games are extremely hard because they were so short. You couldn't put that much on a disc or like a cartridge back then, since there was such little playtime. So they just had to make it extremely hard to make it last longer. It's crazy.
Yeah. Same with old PC games. Most of them are short. Twin Sun is short. But what makes it hard is that you have to do things over and over again to get past certain levels.
So the grinding aspect, or is it like difficulty, like long length, or is it just grinding and doing the same thing repetition to make it last longer, or makes it last longer?
No, it's not grinding. Like, you die too many times until you get it. Mm-hmm. Or you have to do it, there is a test in in one of the levels I have gone through in one of the episodes that's gonna come out soon, that you have to shoot at some targets that are floating around. And it took me like 30 minutes to get that. And I had to cut that on the video, and you just see 2 minutes of me shooting things at them.
Oh wow. I would say I have to ask, like, for the Little Big Adventure games, you say you can die in the game, right?
Yeah, you get game overs.
Is the game over screen scary?
No. Well, you don't use PC at all, right? Have you ever used Word Office?
I have not.
Oh shit. Cuz there's this thing called Word Art that they made for it, like for, I think it was for Windows XP. It's really crappy text editing stuff, and it looks like that. Like the game over you get on it looks like made on freaking Word Art 2003.
Yeah. The reason why I brought up if it's scary or not is because when I woke up this morning, I don't know why, but I had some like nostalgia feel. So I looked up footage from old games, like those really crappy movie licensed video games. You know how like a movie has like a really crappy licensed game that comes along with it? Like you remember those?
I liked Tarzan.
I remember when I was younger. The Ratatouille video game. I had it on the GameCube. If you remember Ratatouille, it's a great movie. But the game that came with it on the GameCube was really bad. From what I remember, the controls were really bad, and some of the puzzles were all right. But for the most part, it's the stereotypical low quality licensed game.
I had the same feeling with the Toy Story ones.
But I will say, though, the game over scenes for when you die in the Ratatouille game were probably some of the most disturbing things for me as a child. Like when Remy dies, I looked up this morning how he dies in the game. Like if you drown in water, it shows him drowning with like this weird kind of like boom, dun, dun, and like music in the background. It shows like him when he drowns, like it shows him like drowning, then he like collapses. Another one, it shows him like if you fall down like a pipe or so like that in like the sewer, it shows him falling to his death. Another one, it shows him like, passing out as he breaks for this last breath of life, and then he just collapses on the ground. It's disturbing for a kid's game. Like, what the hell?
Wow, great pictures for a kid.
They weren't pictures, they were animations. They showed it. Like,
well, animations. I would be traumatized if that happened to me.
They had it like with these like really disturbing, like look up Ratatouille video game over scenes. They're like disturbing, and like it just makes it worse with that music like dun, dun, dun. I'll show you later. They also did that for I looked up also for the WALL-E video game. Great movie as well, but like the death scenes for WALL-E were just, my God. It just like shows him like also, like saying like, where are you? And then he dies. It's just it's disturbing.
I have to say though that I really liked the WALL-E game. I got to play it on PlayStation. I don't remember if it was for PlayStation 2 or 3. I think it was. Do you remember when
you got a game over?
Yeah, but I didn't feel it as creepy as you say it is.
I don't know, maybe because I was younger or something I never really played the WALL-E game. I guess the two were kind of different. Maybe it was also because I was young and I was a pansy, but I don't know. But yeah. Pretty much. Anything else you want to go into pretty much since we're around the hour mark now?
I don't know.
Filler. Filler. I would ask also if I was wondering, is there any other things you have to say involving the furry fandom that you have any thoughts on, like what you think about it, what do you think about yourself in the community, or like what you think about it as a whole, and where do you think it is these days and where it will be in the future?
Wow, that's something pretty complex, but I'll try to summarize my answer as much as I can. I think that it started pretty well. Like the early beginnings of furry fandom were great. They were all cute and and amazing. But I think that the point we are getting right now, when the furry fandom is not as hidden as it used to be, and people um, have more access to many definitions of it. I think that we're getting to a point where being a furry is the thing, you know.
The mainstream.
Yeah, it's becoming mainstream to the point that there are a lot of posers coming, and I would say that's gonna make a really bad impact for a short time, and I hope that
It gets better.
yeah, it gets better. For now, I think that the furry fandom is not at their best, but I think that it is gonna get better.
I was a furry before it was considered cool.
Basically.
And also, I just feel my personal thought, besides it being mainstream, is just like, you know, the social media age where, you know, followers are everything, and, you know, your personality, or not your personality, but more so your popularity and, you know, level of respect people tend to have for each other is based off of, you know, follow count and likes and dislikes and things like that on social media, which is shallow and it's a sad thing, but it is a case for a lot of people. And I do see like how a lot of popular people on social media and pertaining to furries tend to have kind of egos. Not all of them, but some do. And there's one particular person, which I'm not going to name his name. He's like a really well-known furry person. I think he's like a Vine fur, but I'm not going to mention him anymore. Get close to finding out who he is. But I was told by someone who lives near him that he was throwing a party, and a furry party, and he wouldn't let people that weren't really that relevant as furries into his house for the party, which is kind of, you know, stuck up.
That's
not
rude.
Kind of, it's really stuck up. It is.
I have a question for you.
He's the Jake Paul of the furry community. No, I'm kidding.
No. But related to the furry fandom, I have a question for you.
What is that?
What's your point of view on relationships inside the furry fandom?
I think that 99.999999999% of them are homosexual males. No, I'm kidding. I think that 99% of them are like one-off kind of. They start off very, you know, shallow and off of people that they don't know personally, and that's why a lot of them don't work out and they end after a few weeks, and it causes drama between people because people, you know, feel like they just want to hook up and such. So
Yeah. Thinking that I brought up this question because I saw a video of a social psychologist, I think is what it was their job.
shit, sorry about that. Water bottle fell.
It's alright, but what they do in their job is they don't work in an office. They are not that normal psychologists we all know that you go there individually. Their work is to analyze big groups of people and their behavior. So there was this one social psychologist that decided to make a little investigation related to relationships in the furry fandom. And what he found out and was showing about what he found out was that straight relationships are often more capable of working out over time than homosexual ones. Most of the homosexuals sexual
Are you
relationships.
Are you pertaining like male on male and or just male on male, or male on male and female on female relationships?
Both.
Okay.
Like what they said was, if you're looking for a serious relationship and you are gay in the furry community, you should not look for that, because most of the people are either looking for a one-night stand or are a little unstable to the point that the relationship's not gonna last at all.
And I agree. I can see that being the case. I can agree with that, because one big stereotype a lot of people have about the furry community that's not really the biggest one, besides, you know, having sex in animal costumes, it's that they're all gay guys. That's like a big stereotype. And I would not deny that I think a good portion of furries, not saying the majority, but a good decent amount of furries are gay males. I will say I see that a lot. But I can also agree that, like, for the most, like, straight relationships within the furry community are more, more stable and tend to last longer. Like, because I personally have never seen a straight furry relationship ever fail, and I also see, whenever I see these, like, drama relationships that, like, start for a bit and then they end after a few days or a few weeks and it causes drama, they always tend to usually be a gay couple. And I'm not saying that's, like, me being homophobic, that's just what I see. And it's also the case, like, when I see, like, these guys on Twitter, these furries on Twitter, these guys or these lesbians or gay guys, and I see them on Twitter. I just repeat a lot. I see, they always tend to put their partner on their Twitter info, and they always change it. They change in a relationship with @this person. They change it like every few months or so.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. And it's just, it is a case of something I see. Not saying that I'm homophobic. I love the gays. I'm bisexual, so I really can't be homophobic. I don't know how that could be gospel. But you're bisexual as well, so you can't be homophobic as well either. But it's crazy. And it is a case, but it just comes with culture and, how we interact and such. But, anything else you want to add to that?
Well, I also agree with that idea of homosexuals lasting shorter. And I'm sorry if you are gay and you're watching this video and you're like, oh no, you just said my relationship's gonna last short. And I'm sorry, but yes, I just said that.
But it's not like saying that's only applying to gay people. Like, I bet when I'm in high school, since when I was in high school, that exact case was for straight couples as well. That's because it was high school. Like, the furry fandom does feel like high school in a way, but kind of like high school if it was like an all gay people high school. I don't know. An all gay people high school. You have to be gay in order to be in this high school. It'd be called penis high. That's what it's called. Penis high.
Penis high. And the teachers, they have like
Lady Gaga. Okay.
Oh god. They teach you how to ride a bad dragon or something like that.
Oh my god.
Okay, just stop talking about that.
I think we can close it off now. I think we can close this podcast off on bad dragons. Or do you want to go into bad dragons?
No.
We'll save that for the post show, after dark post show. But yeah. I own 17 bad dragons. No kidding.
I beat you. I own 18.
Oh my god. I think I heard that in Texas it's illegal to own more than 7 dildos, I think, but I don't know. It's crazy. I could be wrong. But I know that in one state it's illegal to have a certain amount of dildos, which is crazy. But I don't know what you do in your spare time. It's my favorite collection. But anyway. This is going to close off the podcast. Is there anything you want to plug here? Your business, your social media, your drug cartel, anything like that?
Well, when it comes to drawings or commissions, please go check my FA or send me a message through Telegram.
Or how about your DeviantArt?
I have a DeviantArt. It's the same username as my For Affinity, but I don't check it as often as I do FA.
All right. And also you have your check your Twitter. Check out KhramChee's Twitter @KhramChee, her YouTube KhramChee, her For Affinity KhramChee, her DeviantArt KhramChee, her Patreon KhramChee, her GoFundMe KhramChee, her Meat Spin KhramChee.
MySpace.
Yes. ChocolateCoveredTeenageBoys.com. No.
Everything. Same username everywhere.
Her ISIS beheadings profile. No. It's terrible. Okay. Yeah,
Happy
check out
puppies.
all that. Link in the description to all of that in the description. And we're pretty much done. Any last words?
Well, if anyone is still in doubt or didn't know about it, I'm SeetherCast's girlfriend.
Oh my god. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.